The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, welcome to another edition of our program, CHW in Action. I'm your host, Rafael Calderon. I'm a CHW, which is a community health worker. So I always like to explain that CHW stands for Community Health Worker in Action, because I'm always in action trying to bring you, the community of Nashua, information on how to live a healthy lifestyle. And I like to emphasize that to me, a healthy lifestyle is not just to prevent an illness or to treat an illness. To live a healthy lifestyle is to have a full, balanced life. And that involves different areas of life, including when we are experiencing difficult emotions. And today I have the honor and the privilege to have with me a new friend. Even though we just met, we're going to be new friends. She and I were supposed to talk last week, and we were going to talk about the process of losing a loved one through cancer. And I will go more detail into how we met. But I wanted to let you know that this is going to be a very personal TV show, and I'm very honored that she's here with us. Let us say hello to our guest, Tammy. Hi,
Hello.
Tammy.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I am getting to know you. So please tell us who you are, your full name, your title, what you do, what you're about.
Okay, I'm Tammy Conroy, and I work at an elementary school in Nashua. I've been doing that for quite a few years now. Love it, loving being with the children. I'm from Nashua. Well, originally I'm from Lowell. I've been in Nashua for a few years. Love it up here.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, I remember I first met you, it was Grace that introduced us. How did she present what we were trying to do?
Well, she had mentioned about the prostate cancer program, raising the donations of ties. And she said, if I had any ties, I wanted to put, to donate. And I said, yes, I have plenty of them. But going through that actual process was a bit upsetting, trying to go through my husband's clothing. Anyway, I had given her the ties, and then you had come in, and we started speaking. And
that's why I think it's so nice that you're here, because this whole program that we were doing with the ties is to connect that tie, something that belongs to a loved one, to so many people that we are losing to this disease.
Sure.
Right? And the idea is that most people don't like to talk about it. Most men definitely don't like to talk about it. So it's always good to have a wife or a significant other to show support or to share a story about that person.
Right.
So I truly thank you for being with us. And I know that we are going to talk about a different kind of cancer. But the point is that cancer, let's say, took away the love of your life. So that's what we want to talk about, is what happens when someone is dealing with the loss of a loved one through cancer.
Okay.
Because you sort of see the person that you love, I don't want to say wither away, but it's something like that.
Basically.
You love a person, and then something inside of them just starts to go away from you.
Right.
So let's talk about that. First of all, tell us about how it happened.
Okay.
Tell us how it has affected you.
So he was diagnosed with thymic cancer initially, and he ended up having a tumor in his lungs that they said was looked like a 5-pound roast beef. That's how big it was. He had just gone to the doctors for a physical and had a little bit of pain in his arm. He said, oh, it's nothing really that serious. It doesn't bother me that much. And the doctor said, well, we'll do an x-ray for the heck of it. And sure enough, that's when they found the tumor. He apparently had had it for quite some time without him knowing. Then he eventually had that removed. And then the process after that was he had lost his, when they removed the tumor, they ended up taking part of his the pericardium, a nerve in his arm, his vocal cords, one of his vocal cords. There was several other parts, I forget, but they, so he lost his voice. His voice was actually there. It was just kind of a whisper. So that was a little bit of a struggle for him as a man, and even for my children, because they wanted to hear daddy talk. And then as the year progressed, we tried for an experiment. Oh, I should go back and say that when he was diagnosed, it was already stage 4. So the doctors were, cautiously hopeful, we'll say, and they wanted to try different types of chemo, which they did. They tried 3 different types. He was allergic to one, or he had a reaction to one of them, so they couldn't use that. That was supposed to be the most potent one that would have probably been the most beneficial. And then they tried a second one and a third one, and it didn't seem to do the trick. And so at one point, they put him on an experimental medication, and it was $13,000 a month for it. Thankfully, we have insurance, and so we were able to make it work. But that was so experimental that they said they didn't think it was going to touch him. Well, we thought, I was the more positive of the two of us. I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be great, So he had gone for a scan at one point, and they said, after hearing bad news, they said, well, in this scan, it looks like the cells have not grown, or they haven't shrunk, but they haven't grown. So we thought that was the best news. Well, then within a few weeks, they said, okay, it's in this lymph nodes, it's throughout the body, not throughout the body, but it was it spread quite a bit. So that medication did not end up working, and there was no trials that he could do because the doctors were basically saying, your travel expenses, and if it's not something you can afford, and we don't think it's going to work. But anyway, so we ended up having hospice at the house, and my stepdaughters, God love them, and my sister-in-law, both nurses, all 3 of them nurses, came and helped to take care of, moved right in with us, and it was a sad process. I'm fortunate to have had that time with him, but it was very sad to watch him, as you say, deteriorate in many ways, and he even said, I've lost all the joy in my life. I have no joy in my life, which was sad, He said, I just want to be around to have our twin daughters, have them graduate from college, from high school, and they're only sophomores, so obviously that didn't happen. But
must have been very hard for you.
It's hard on all of us. Yeah, it's been an adjustment, one that I haven't fully grasped yet. I'm going through life and going through the motions and putting on the smile, but I think it's just going to have to be a process, and hopefully, with God's help, I'll get to where I need to be to be a little more happier.
I'm so sorry for you.
Thank you.
And say sincerely. And this is one of the reasons why we try to promote, we from the New Hampshire Prostate Cancer Coalition, but any cancer.
Sure.
We try to promote not prevention, management, awareness.
Okay.
Because really, when cancer happens, it's not just that person,
right,
the victim that's affected, it's the whole family.
Exactly.
For you to have to go to this, your daughters, the whole family,
sure, it
takes a toll on one's soul.
Right.
So that's why we want to promote awareness so that we can prevent that as much as possible. We all know that life is life and things happen, but when you lose that joy of life, really, it's hard to think of anything else to be there.
Exactly.
You see?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's not an easy process to go through.
Right.
It will take time to heal. Okay? And how are you doing healing wise?
That's still been difficult. As I said, I'm going through the motions. I get up every day. I go to work, and I take my children to where they have to go. And I have a beautiful grandson who's been wonderful to have around. Thank God we have him. But I had been going to a bereavement group, but I felt that after a few sessions, it was wonderful, but after a few sessions, I just was not ready to still accept that it had happened. So I stopped going. So I'm going to get into some private grief therapy to see if that will help, just so I can keep going on and, not be the downer.
Well, it's completely understandable. So before we went live, we were talking about that you might feel a little cursed. Is that something you'd like to talk about a little bit?
Sure. I don't like to feel this way because I do have strong faith, and I've, thankfully my parents raised us, to have strong faith. But I do feel like I don't understand why God targeted our family, because we are a very loving family. We weren't, we're not, I hate to say it like this, but we're not, drug dealers or murderers or, bad people. We're good people. And Kevin and I had a wonderful, wonderful relationship for many years. We had a great friendship. So I'm...
It's okay. It's okay. It's hard to process it. And I understand what you say, why us, why me, right? And life is an interesting thing. And the reason why I wanted to ask you that question is because at the end of that, well, eventually time passes on, we somehow, the soul, and it's okay, you release, okay? So in time, we come to see things a little bit differently. It's from the time when it starts, when we feel the way you feel, until we get to that point. That's when the interesting thing happens, right? So I'm not going to get religious on you because I'm spiritual. But the old thing, the cliche that things happen for a reason is that he may still be with you. The physical body may not be here, but he may be in your heart. And maybe once you connect with that might bring forth some real healing. Okay? Because you stop going to bereavement, but you mentioned that you're going to follow up with professional counseling?
Yes, I'm going to go to a grief counselor. I just haven't made the appointment just because of my children's schedule right now, but yes, I'm going to do it this week. I definitely need to do it because it's hard to keep your feelings in check all the time, and I don't want to be losing it everywhere. So I know I need to really have a chance to talk to somebody who knows,
So this happened recently?
It was in April.
In April?
In April, yeah. But, yeah.
When you were collecting the ties, what motivated you? What message do you want to convey to the people that would receive those ties?
Well, I will tell you, to be honest, after Kevin passed, with all the cancer walks and the donation, the cancer fundraisers, I was feeling a little bit angry, and I didn't want to give to cancer because it didn't save him. With the ties, it came at a good time because, first of all, Grace is a wonderful person, and she does so much for the community.
Yes.
So I wanted to help her. I just had to make sure I could actually do it because I had not gone through his stuff yet at that point. But in any way, any message I could give to them, hold on to your hope. As long as you love your loved ones while they're here, and hopefully, hopefully cancer won't get the best of them.
Hopefully not. And even if it happened, that we can catch it at an early stage. Because I've met people that have lived for many, many years with it, once you learn how to manage it. Earlier in the program, I had a guest, a friend of mine, Oscar, and we were talking about chronic conditions. If a chronic condition is managed properly, the person can have a joyful, fruitful life for many years.
Sure.
It's a matter of catching it on time.
Right.
And sometimes we, unfortunately, don't do that, and then we have to go through the situations that we've gone through.
Right.
But see, the ties, I keep going back to them because what you've done is you have helped others heal. You see, that's what I'm trying to get at, is that you are doing something to pass on something positive.
Good.
See, and
that makes me feel good.
I'm glad. We're actually going to have an activity at the Palace Theatre in Manchester in May.
Okay.
And I only tell you that because we are going to do something with all these ties.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, how nice. Okay.
So I'll keep you posted.
Yes, please
and
do.
invite you to it.
Great.
Because you have tragedies, but if you can try to turn it into something positive.
Right.
Sometimes that helps us heal a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay?
I will look forward to that type of healing.
And you mentioned you have twins.
I do.
Tell us about your twins.
April and Brooke, they're 15. They go to South, Nashua South here. They are busy with cheerleading and soccer and keeping me busy being the sole driver, right now until they get their license. They're kind of that's my life after school is driving them everywhere. But no, they're adjusting in their own way. They process their grief totally different than mine, and I don't want to put mine on theirs, you know. But they're good. They're fun. They're nice girls for the most part, you know. Give me a run for my money some days, but
They're supposed to.
yes, this is true. This is true. Yeah.
That's how they show you love when they're younger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been told that many times.
Oh yeah. Do you have children?
No, I have nieces and nephews.
Oh, okay. So
In fact,
you see it.
It's a child. I'll see if I can show you. My nieces, they love me so much. I have it way inside. I have it way deep inside. But they gave me a ring.
Yeah.
It's a Batman ring because I'm a Batman fanatic.
Oh, okay.
And every time they put me through the test,
Yeah.
they show me their love by, being teenagers.
Oh, okay.
I just reach out to this ring.
Oh, that's nice. That's
So
nice.
that's how they let you know that they
That's
love
a
you.
good thought. Yeah.
Okay. So now tell us a little more because we want to honor Kevin. This is an opportunity to honor him, to honor you for keeping his memory alive by participating on this Thai event. So tell us about him. He must have been a very nice guy.
He was wonderful. He was hilarious. He was hilarious. He had a very wonderful, very quick sense of humor. He worked for, he worked his entire life up until he got sick at Coca-Cola in Lowell as a sales manager. He was a good dad, and he has like older children too. So that's where we have our grandson from. And he just, the unfortunate thing is we feel like we missed, he got to meet the baby for about, I want to say 6 months. And then he passed. But they had this little connection, just the two of them. It was kind of cute. He was a wonderful man. He, a good person, a lot of fun to be around. And, someone mentioned to me one time, when someone passes, you sometimes put them on a pedestal and you don't remember the bad times. Well, obviously it was never perfect, that's not realistic, but all those good times were wonderful. Just laughing. I miss laughing. Sometimes I still go to call him up or text him and, just tell him something, and just because he always had some wisecrack, something to say. But I miss him. He was a good son, and just I miss talking to him.
I understand. You should see how you light up when you talk about him. See?
Thanks.
And that's all I can tell you. He's still with you. Okay? In some way, sometime, he's still with you. I believe that we human beings, we're made up of energies. And you know that energies, they don't cease to exist. They just move to different.
Sure.
In fact, that's a question. Do you believe in life after we pass on? Do you believe that you guys will be together again?
Yes, I do. I do believe it. I'm struggling a little bit just because I feel I haven't had any real signs that he's, but I do. Yes, I do believe that. I do believe he's in heaven and that I will hopefully see him again.
I think I saw him in you. I never met him, and the way your face lit up.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, no. When you keep the energy of someone within you. Okay, but it happened in April, so I know it's fresh. It's hard to just say it happened. I'm going to move on.
Right. Everybody else's life has gone on, and
But
I feel like it happened yesterday.
Wow. How long were you guys together?
We were together we were married for 18 years. 17 years, I should say. And but I've known him for 27 years. We used to work together, so.
You got at Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A long time ago.
So you guys tell us about that. You guys met, knew each other, and then you started dating?
Yeah, we actually were, he was married when I first started there. I had gotten married to somebody else during that time. I was only, I think, 19 or 20 when I started there. So our lives, were just friends and whatnot. And then he had ended up getting divorced at one point, and then eventually I did as well. And we just became, we were good friends at work. I used to call him my best girlfriend because he was just so, he had a great listening ear. Although, thinking back now, he probably yesed at me a lot. But, then one day, surprising to both of us, we used to have conversations about, what we didn't want in the next person we were going to find, and just interesting stuff. And lo and behold, we ended up together. He told me he loved me, so.
How sweet.
That was sweet.
Nice.
Thank you.
And okay, so then you had this wonderful life together. Unfortunately, he's in another playing field right now. So how do you keep him alive within you?
Well, I think about him all the time. I go to his website, his grave site. I wish he had a website. And I try and talk about him a lot with my children. I definitely talk about him a lot with my older stepdaughters because they were very close to him as well. And mine are still kind of, they want to put their grief in the back pocket, and but yeah, we talk about him a lot. We just have we have a candle in the house that is a reminder of him and keep that going.
Very nice.
Yeah, a lot of pictures.
That always helps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you take all those pictures and you put his favorite song behind the pictures, I've done that for other people before. You take their favorite songs, you take it put in the background of pictures.
Okay.
When times come where you just feel that emptiness, and you put on that video, sometimes that helps.
Oh, I will do that when I can. I mean, when I get to that point, I will do that.
Okay. So tell me, I want to ask you this: how it was found on stage 4? Do you feel that if it had been found earlier, that there could have been a better chance of?
Yeah, I think before it had spread, and I think that they may have been able to find some type of chemo that wouldn't have to have been so potent. That would have probably helped better. We thought once the tumor was, or I thought, because I was trying to be hopeful, I thought once the tumor was gone that he was out of the woods. But then it had just come back. But yeah, I think that maybe if it was caught earlier, then that would have made a difference.
And do you think that maybe somehow it could have been caught earlier, and there may have been something that could have been done for it to have been noticed? For example, did he ever get sick a lot? Something that could have happened that could have given a hint.
Oh, right. The only issue he had, like I said, was the arm. A little bit of pain. He just said, when he moved his arm, but it was nothing that he ever was concerned about. And then he would occasionally have shortness of breath or panic attacks. He would lay down to go to sleep. He would have to get up and go outside and get air, but we didn't know. He was clearly something was crushing his chest, his lungs. So those were cues, but we didn't think too much of it. Yeah, I'm thinking back. We probably, if we had done something quicker, that would have made a difference.
And I'm asking you this because I am working on setting up some type of support group in Nashua that I'll invite you to.
Okay.
Because a lot of families, once it happens, unfortunately, once the family member moves on, they remember things that they didn't know what it was before.
Oh, sure.
So they didn't act on it. So
right.
to know.
Okay, that's, yeah.
See? So if we have a group of people, I'm telling you, you've been here helps. I'm hoping that it helps you to
it's
release
helping me.
some. Okay, see, you just made my night.
Oh, thank you.
But a lot of people would listen to you and they would go through what you went through and they might reach out and want to talk.
Okay.
And as you know, when you share what you have inside with them,
it helps.
It helps a lot.
Sure.
So that's why I'm asking if we can have a conversation about could it have been caught on earlier.
Okay.
Maybe someone that's listening, maybe someone that, you see what I mean?
Sure.
Would you be interested in being part of the support group?
I definitely would be, yes, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
yes, I do that a lot. See,
you do.
I have boundless energy. I have to control myself when I'm sitting here. I keep telling the guys I want to do this TV show where I'm half out in the location out there, and then I come here and then I show what I did out there.
Okay.
And I share it with the guest.
Sure.
I'm moving in that direction.
Okay.
Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to get up and do something.
Right.
So you'll be part of our support
okay.
group.
Sure, that sounds great.
Is there anything we can do to help you feel better?
This, like I said, this helps to be able to talk about it and to talk about him, and hopefully a support group for people or people who notice signs like that Kevin had early on, maybe prevent something from happening.
See, I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
And now about you, we're coming close to the end of the program. Okay, what dreams, goals do you have?
As far as
In life in general.
in life in general, well, I'm looking to lose 40 pounds tonight. No.
What pounds? What are they?
Oh, you're kind. Just to be a good mom, just to be good at my job, be a good steward, good daughter, And hopefully, maybe someday I can help somebody else and make them feel better for what I'm going through.
I can tell you that you're helping somebody right now, honestly.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Sincerely. I think that if we had more people that spoke openly about what they're going through,
Right.
more people would not feel so alone.
Sure. Right. Need
Because
the connection.
Yeah, it must be painful to be going through this loss, wondering why me.
Right.
There's a good movie that I love. It's called The Mothman Prophecy.
Oh, okay.
It's with Richard
Yes.
Gere.
Yes. I think I saw that years ago.
Yeah, that the Mothman takes his wife.
Yes.
The Mothman is like a spiritual being that's interdimensional.
Right.
It's beyond a human being, and he shows up when someone's going to die.
Right.
So he takes his wife, and he says, it looks like the universe looked at us. We were happy, and they said, why, look at them. They're happy. Let's go and do something. But then as the movie progresses, then it turns out that there was a meaning behind it.
Okay.
So that's what I'm hoping for you. I'm
Okay.
hoping that you heal.
Thank you.
As you heal, you find there's some meaning that we cannot understand at this time.
Sure.
And I thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
And now, thank you for being with us. As you can see, Tammy, I want to say she's a very special lady because she has shared a lot with us. We are going to create this support group, and I'd like to say it's going to be for prostate cancer victims and their families, but let's make it wider for anyone that has lost anyone due to cancer. Because like we've been talking about, is you have someone that you love, and something happens and you see them just going away from you and there's nothing you can do. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. Which reminds me of asking a question. Would you be, if someone wanted to talk to you about this, would it be okay for
Yes,
me to?
definitely.
Okay, would you like, what would be the best way to contact you?
I can give out my email.
Please do.
It's Tam Conroy. It's TamConroy @gmail.com.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
You see, please reach out to her, reach out to us. You have my contact information at the end of the TV show. The whole idea here that Tammy and I are trying to convey is that if we sit down and talk about these painful situations, we'll feel better inside. I haven't lost anyone in my family, but I have seen people that unfortunately are lost to cancer. It's not a pretty picture. It affects the whole family. A lot of it can be managed or better managed by bringing forth awareness. And if something happens and we think it might be a cancer, to go and get checked instead of just letting it pass by, it would not only save lives, it would save the essence of life. Because that's what it's all about. We have these bodies, but within the bodies we have the spirits. And it's the spirits that we love. The spirits, they stay with us forever. But it's hard when you love someone and you cannot see them next to you. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for spending time with us. Thanks to Tammy for sharing with us. Okay? And we want to thank you once again, your host, Rafael Calderon, your CHW. God bless you. Good night.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.